Have you ever noticed that right before something great happens in your life, everything suddenly feels strange, difficult, or even confusing? It can feel like the ground beneath your feet is shaking. Relationships change. Doors begin to close. The path you thought you understood suddenly looks different. Many people think this means something is going wrong. But what if the opposite is true? What if those moments are actually signs that God is preparing to release a blessing into your life? There is a spiritual pattern that many people miss. Before God elevates someone, before He opens a powerful door, before He releases a breakthrough, He first prepares the person internally and externally. The preparation process often looks nothing like a blessing. It may look like pressure. It may feel like loneliness. It may even appear like delay. But behind the scenes, God is aligning everything perfectly. That is why this message is so important. Because if you misunderstand the signs, you might give up right before your breakthrough arrives. But if you recognize them, you will stand strong with faith, knowing that something powerful is on the way. And today, we are going to talk about the signs that often appear when God is about to bless you. The first sign is isolation. Many people think isolation is punishment, but often it is preparation. When God is about to move in your life, He sometimes separates you from environments, distractions, and even people who cannot go where He is taking you. Suddenly you may feel alone. Friends disappear. Conversations feel empty. The places you once enjoyed no longer satisfy your spirit. But this is not rejection. It is redirection. In those quiet moments, God begins to speak to your heart more clearly. Your focus becomes sharper. Your spirit becomes stronger. Isolation becomes the training ground where your faith grows deeper. The second sign is increased resistance. Right before breakthrough, challenges often intensify. Problems appear from unexpected places. Doubts try to enter your mind. You may face criticism, misunderstanding, or obstacles that seem unfair. But resistance is often proof that something valuable is ahead. Think of it like a door that requires pressure to open. The resistance is not there to destroy you. It is there to strengthen you. The greater the calling, the stronger the preparation must be. And sometimes the very battles you are fighting today are preparing you for the victory you will walk into tomorrow. The third sign is the closing of old doors. This can be one of the most confusing experiences. Opportunities you once depended on suddenly disappear. Plans fall apart. Things you expected to work simply stop working. At first, it may feel like loss, but sometimes God closes doors not to punish you, but to protect you and guide you toward something far greater. If old doors remained open, you might never step into the new place prepared for you. Closed doors are often God's way of saying, "Trust me, I have something better waiting for you." The fourth sign is a growing vision inside your heart. Before blessings appear externally, they often begin internally. You start feeling a deeper sense of purpose. Ideas, dreams, and possibilities begin forming in your mind. your faith becomes stronger than your fear. You begin to believe that your life is meant for more. This inner vision is not random. It is often the seed of what God is preparing to do. The blessing starts in the heart before it becomes visible in reality. The fifth sign is divine alignment of people and timing. When the season of blessing approaches, the right people start appearing in your life. Conversations happen at the perfect moment. Opportunities connect in ways you could not have planned yourself. What once felt impossible begins to move forward. It may seem like coincidence, but often it is divine timing. God begins arranging circumstances, relationships, and moments so that everything connects at exactly the right time. And when you look back later, you realize that every step, even the difficult ones, was part of the preparation. So if you are in a season of isolation, resistance, closed doors, or uncertainty, do not lose hope. Sometimes the very things that look like setbacks are actually signals that something powerful is about to happen. Your story may be in the preparation chapter right now, but preparation always comes before manifestation. And when the moment arrives, when the door finally opens, when the blessing is released, you will understand that every challenge had a purpose. Because when God prepares a blessing, He also prepares the person who will receive it. And that person is becoming stronger every single day. There are seasons in life when everything becomes quiet around you. The phone stops ringing as much as it used to. The people who once surrounded you seem to slowly drift away. Invitations become fewer. Conversations become shorter. And suddenly, you find yourself spending more time alone than ever before. Many people interpret this moment as rejection. They begin to believe that they have done something wrong, that people no longer value them, or that their life is somehow moving backwards. But what many fail to understand is that this kind of isolation is often one of the clearest signs that God is preparing to bless you in a powerful way. When God is about to do something extraordinary in your life, He often separates you from certain environments, certain habits, and even certain relationships. Not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to prepare you. There are places you are going where the noise of the crowd would only distract you. There are blessings coming that require a stronger spirit, deeper faith, and clearer vision. And sometimes, the only way to build that strength inside you is through a season of quietness and separation. In isolation, something powerful begins to happen within your heart. The distractions that once filled your life begin to fade, and suddenly you start hearing your thoughts more clearly. You begin reflecting on your purpose, your direction, and the deeper meaning of your life. The things that once seemed important begin to lose their weight, and the things that truly matter start to rise to the surface. It is in these moments that God begins shaping your character in ways that cannot happen in the middle of constant noise and activity. Many of the greatest transformations in history did not happen in crowded rooms, but in lonely seasons. When a person is removed from the expectations and opinions of others, they begin to discover who they truly are. They begin to develop courage that does not depend on approval. They learn how to trust God instead of relying on human validation. And this kind of inner strength becomes the foundation for the blessing that is coming. Isolation also teaches you to depend on God in a deeper way. When the support system you once relied on becomes smaller, you begin to realize that your true source of strength must come from somewhere greater. In those quiet moments, faith grows. Prayer becomes more sincere. Your relationship with God becomes more personal and more real. What once felt like loneliness slowly transforms into a sacred space where your spirit is being prepared. Sometimes God removes certain people from your life, not because they are bad people, but because they cannot walk with you into the next chapter of your journey. The path ahead may require a different mindset, a different level of faith, or a different kind of discipline. If everyone from your past remained close, it might become harder to step into the future God has designed for you. What feels like loss is often divine protection. What feels like silence is often divine preparation. During this season, it is important not to become bitter or discouraged. Instead, see it as a time of growth. Use the quiet moments to strengthen your spirit, sharpen your vision, and deepen your faith. The same solitude that feels uncomfortable today may become the place where your greatest clarity is born. And when the season changes, when the doors begin to open and the blessings begin to appear, you will look back at that lonely chapter of your life with new understanding. You will realize that God was not abandoning you, He was preparing you. The isolation was not meant to break you. It was meant to build you into the person capable of carrying the blessing that was already on its way. There are moments in life when suddenly everything seems to resist you. You plan, you pray, and you work hard. Yet obstacles appear from every direction. Opportunities that once seemed certain slip away. People who should support you question you. Circumstances that were once easy now feel heavy. This is what we call resistance. And it is one of the clearest signs that God is about to release a powerful blessing in your life. Many people see these challenges and assume that God has abandoned them or that their dreams are impossible. But the truth is often the opposite. The very resistance you face is proof that something valuable is ahead, and God is preparing you to handle it. Resistance is a spiritual pressure designed to strengthen you. Just as metal is forged under extreme heat to become strong, your faith, character, and perseverance are tested and refined in these seasons. The greater the blessing, the greater the preparation required. If you think the absence of opposition means that you are moving forward, think again. Often it is the battles, the criticism, and the obstacles that reveal the depth of your determination and the strength of your faith. Resistance is not punishment, it is preparation. It is God's way of shaping you so that when the blessing arrives, you are ready to receive it fully. During times of increased resistance, you may encounter situations that seem unfair or even impossible. People may misunderstand your intentions and doubts may creep into your mind. You might ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Or, am I on the wrong path? These questions are normal, but they should not discourage you. Instead, they should remind you that resistance is a sign of progress. Just as the seed must push through the soil before it grows into a plant, your breakthrough must push through opposition before it becomes visible. Resistance also teaches patience and perseverance. It forces you to rely not on your own strengths, but on God's wisdom and guidance. When obstacles arise, you are challenged to pray deeper, seek guidance, and keep moving forward despite fear. The discipline you develop during these times builds resilience and equips you to handle even greater challenges in the future. Without resistance, your faith would remain shallow, and your spirit would not be prepared for the level of blessing God intends for you. Moreover, resistance clarifies your priorities. When everything seems to push back against you, you are forced to evaluate what truly matters. You learn to focus on what aligns with God's purpose and let go of what distracts or hinders you. Resistance acts as a filter, separating what is essential from what is superficial. Through it, you discover the strength of your commitment and the clarity of your vision. The obstacles that once seemed overwhelming become stepping stones, guiding you toward the path God has prepared. In the end, resistance is a powerful indicator that a divine blessing is near. Every challenge, every criticism, every difficulty is shaping you to receive what God has promised. The struggle is temporary, but the blessing is eternal. When you look back, you will see that every barrier was not meant to stop you, but to prepare you, strengthen you, and align you perfectly with the purpose and promise that is waiting on the other side. Those who endure resistance with faith and patience will discover that their breakthrough is not only greater than they imagined, but it is also perfectly timed by God's hand. Sometimes in life, things that once seemed certain suddenly begin to change. Opportunities that you expected to last forever close without warning. Doors you relied on for success, security, or connection shut in ways that feel abrupt and even painful. Plans that you thought were aligned with your dreams no longer work out. At first, this can feel like failure or rejection, and many people panic when they see these changes. But in reality, the closing of old doors is often one of the clearest signs that God is preparing to bless you. These closures are not punishments. They are divine redirections, guiding you away from what is limited or harmful and towards something far greater. When God wants to take you to the next level, He often removes access to things, people, and places that are no longer part of His plan for you. The doors that close may have provided comfort, familiarity, or stability, but they may also have kept you from stepping fully into the purpose He has designed for your life. By closing certain doors, God is protecting you from paths that could lead to distraction, compromise, or unfulfilled potential. What may seem like loss today is often preparation for abundance tomorrow. God's timing and wisdom are far beyond our understanding, and His closures always carry the intention of making room for blessings that are bigger, better, and more aligned with your destiny. Closed doors also teach patience and faith. When you encounter a barrier, it is easy to become discouraged and question God's plan. You might wonder why the opportunities you worked for seem to vanish, or why life no longer follows the path you expected. Yet, these moments are an invitation to trust, to wait, and to believe that God has something far greater in store. Faith grows in the space between the old door closing and the new door opening. This period may feel uncertain, but it is precisely where God works most powerfully, aligning your heart, your skills, and your circumstances with what is coming next. Additionally, the closing of old doors encourages you to let go of what no longer serves your growth. Sometimes we cling to situations, relationships, or opportunities out of fear or familiarity, thinking they are essential. But when God closes a door, it is a signal that attachment to the past is holding you back from stepping into your future. Letting go is not always easy, but it is necessary. By releasing what is finished, you create space for new blessings, new paths, and new relationships that will elevate your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. The process of doors closing also helps sharpen your discernment. When opportunities vanish, you begin to examine what truly matters and which paths align with God's purpose for you. You start recognizing that not every opportunity is meant for you, and not every success will fulfill your heart. Closed doors help you focus your energy, time, and faith on what is meaningful, preparing you to recognize and embrace the right doors when they appear. Ultimately, the closing of old doors is not the end of your journey. It is the preparation for the next chapter. What feels like a dead end is often the threshold to your breakthrough. God closes certain doors not to deny you, but to guide you into His perfect plan. The blessing is waiting, and every closure is a step toward the abundant future God has promised. When the new door opens, you will understand that the loss you felt was never permanent, but a necessary part of the journey toward the life He has already prepared for you. As we walk through life, there comes a season when something begins to stir deep within us. A dream that once felt distant starts to feel closer. A vision that was vague begins to take shape. You may not see the full path yet, but inside your heart, a sense of purpose begins to grow stronger than your fears. This inner vision is one of the clearest signs that God is about to bless you. For often, the blessing begins internally before it manifests externally. What is forming in your heart now is the seed of the future God has prepared, and your faith is being strengthened so that you are ready to receive it. The growth of vision within your heart often comes quietly at first. It may be a sense that you were meant for something greater, a whisper of calling that persists despite doubts and distractions. You begin to feel compelled to dream bigger, to aim higher, and to live with a sense of destiny rather than mere routine. This is God's way of preparing your spirit for the breakthrough that is on the horizon. The internal vision allows you to focus your energy and your faith on what matters most, instead of being swayed by temporary challenges or external pressures. As your vision grows, so does your faith. You begin to see possibilities where before you only saw limitations. Challenges that once felt overwhelming now appear as stepping stones toward your purpose. You develop a confidence rooted not in your own ability, but in the knowledge that God is guiding your path. This faith becomes a powerful force, helping you endure difficulties, remain patient during delays, and persevere even when circumstances seem impossible. The inner vision nurtures resilience, and it prepares your mind and heart to recognize and embrace the blessings that God is aligning for you. Your growing vision also inspires action. When God plants a vision in your heart, it is not meant to remain dormant. It motivates you to take steps forward, to pursue your dreams, and to prepare practically for what is coming. Even small steps taken with faith become significant as God begins to orchestrate circumstances in your favor. Each action you take in alignment with your vision strengthens your readiness, making you more capable of handling the responsibilities and opportunities that the blessing will bring. Another aspect of this inner vision is clarity. As your heart begins to see God's purpose for your life more clearly, confusion and doubt start to fade. You recognize the paths that lead to fulfillment and the choices that align with your destiny. This clarity brings peace even amidst uncertainty. You no longer feel trapped by temporary setbacks or swayed by external opinions, because the vision within you acts as a guiding light. It keeps your heart focused on what God has promised and prevents distractions from steering you away from the blessing that is approaching. Finally, the growth of vision within your heart is a signal that you are being prepared for influence and impact. The blessing God is preparing is not only for your personal benefit, but also for those whom your life will touch. The clearer your vision, the more purpose-driven your actions become, and the more you are equipped to lead, inspire, and bless others. Your heart is being trained, your faith is being strengthened, and your spirit is being aligned with the plans God has carefully designed.